I have another event coming up in a couple of weeks and I need to make my look. This one is extremely special to me because I'll be attending the opening gallery for Cristina Martinez. And if you know, you know, that is my favorite artist. And so I have purchased a couple of these quilts with her artwork. This was a quilt that she did in collaboration with Nordstrom. And I'll be using this to make a coat, a jacket, a shacket, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to show you the inspo that I found over on Pinterest. That last one is the one that I'm feeling the most. My goal is to really show off as much of the art as possible, so I definitely plan to do a duster length, long line coat vibe, okay? Let me show y'all. Let me show you the art. Get into the quilt, okay? Oh, are you kidding me? Maybe I could do like a little mix and match where like this is the sleeve, or hear me out, use the art on the outside, but then also make it reversible, and this would be the inside. Well, that was my plan. However, I had to pivot because I did not receive the final quilt in time to make this before leaving. So I instead did a vest. I found a simple pattern over on Etsy that just had a front and a back piece, and then some bias tape will be needed. So I used the main part of the art, the face, for the back, and then I went ahead and lined up as best I could at the side seam so that the front would kind of wrap around with the rest of the art and almost still be as one. After cutting everything out, I went ahead and pinned up my pieces at the shoulder and side seams and stitched. I also wanted to share this tool that I love. It's a ruler and magnet, and you use the ruler to measure out whatever seam allowance you're supposed to have. For this vest, I'm sewing with 3/8 of a seam allowance, and then you put the magnet down, and it ensures that you sew in a straight line for your seams without having to think about it. I'll link it in the description below.
They say she get it from her mama. I'ma say you fuck her right. Body rude is unpolite. Done be in a humble life. Tell me, is you down? Cause I'm trying to go up tonight. All the hoochies left and right. I just wanna live in a fantasy. I think we deserve it right. Top of the memories I've ever made in my life. Permanent.
After sewing up the shoulder seams, I noticed that it didn't really line up perfectly, so I went ahead and trimmed right here and then continued with the vest.
I put that on my own mama, on my hood. I look fly, I look good. You can't touch my back, but you could. I look fly, I look too good. Put that on my own mama, on my hood. I look fly, I look good. You can't touch my back, but you could. I look fly, I look too good.
Since I'm already upcycling, I went ahead and upcycled the bias tape off of the quilt as well, and I used this bias tape to finish off all around the vest as well as the seams on the inside. And I took it a step further by finishing off the seams and then sewing it flat with a top stitch. Therefore, my vest can be worn both ways, reversible. I absolutely love my Oliso Project Iron. It makes it so easy to just iron right at the sewing table and keep moving. You want to make sure that you iron those seams flat before you even finish it off with bias tape. It will make for a very clean finish. And it also helps with making it easier to apply the bias tape. And because this is the quilted fabric, I did trim down one side of the seam allowance to make it easier to encase. Here's what it looks like when you have the bias tape on the seam. And here's the final result. Be sure to come back to see how I style it for the event.